Welcome to 1 Minute Wins with Dr. Dana Martin, the podcast where intentional growth meets practical leadership. One quote, one lesson, one action to help you lead yourself and others better. Let's jump in. Howdy and welcome back to 1 Minute Wins. I am Dr. Dana Martin, and today we're talking about gratitude. Not as a holiday theme, it is that time of year at the time of this recording. Not as motivational buzzword either, but as a leadership strategy. Robin Sharma says, gratitude is the foundation of happiness and leadership. And think about it. This is why it matters. Gratitude isn't soft. It isn't passive. It isn't extra. Gratitude is strength. It builds perspective, increases resilience, and anchors you during pressure. Most importantly, gratitude in leadership is not a feeling, it's an action. Something you intentionally choose, not something you wait to experience. And today we're going to explore how gratitude can transform your leadership, your relationships, and even your personal growth. See, the brain has a negativity bias. It's wired to detect threats, remember criticism, and focus on what's missing instead of what's working. And gratitude interrupts that bias. It forces the mind to notice what is good and what is working and who is helping you move forward. Leaders who practice gratitude consistently see challenges differently, and not because the obstacles lessen or there's fewer, but because their perspective strengthens. Gratitude explains your field of view, and when you intentionally focus on what's right, you stop assuming everything is going wrong. That shift builds resilience, it builds patience, and it builds connection. And a great leader and their leadership is built on all three: resilience, patience, and connection. A few years back, I worked with a team that had hit a wall. And when I say I worked with the team, it was my team. They had low morale, low engagement, low performance. And I believed that they just didn't care. And they believed that I didn't really notice their effort. And guess what? Both sides were right. I was right. I was frustrated. They were right. They were frustrated. And one afternoon, I had to ask myself this question. When was the last time I thanked them for what they have done? When was the last time that I showed gratitude? This long, uncomfortable pause was much longer staring in the mirror. I was so focused on what wasn't getting done that they stopped acknowledging what was. So, tried this experiment. For 2 weeks, I intentionally expressed gratitude, real, specific, meaningful gratitude every single day. And the shift was unbelievable. I started mentioning the things that I was looking for that were good. And everything began to change. I see that this report is done before the deadline. Extend gratitude. I had not just a problem brought to me, but a problem with a potential solution. Extend gratitude. You get the picture. The shift was amazing, and engagement rose, communication improved, tension lowered, and performance increased. Not because my expectations changed, but because the culture did. Gratitude doesn't replace accountability. That's not what I'm saying, but it does make accountability easier to receive. University of California conducted a study showing that people who practice gratitude consistently experience a 25% higher emotional well-being, improved decision-making under stress, and stronger relationships and cooperation. But here's a leadership specific statistic. Employees who feel appreciated are 2.7 times more likely to be highly engaged at work, not compensated, not promoted, appreciated. Gratitude isn't a bonus skill, it's a performance multiplier. Another quote I love comes from William Arthur Ward. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping up a present and not giving it. Leaders often feel grateful. I feel grateful all the time. Just don't say it. And not because they're unappreciative, but because they're busy, they're overwhelmed or distracted. Give that star award. But it takes a little extra time to fill out the form. Fill out the form. Give gratitude when it's due. Unexpressed gratitude, no one knows. It's invisible. People don't know you appreciate them unless you tell them. And telling them costs you what? A couple of seconds? But it gives them everything. I'll tell you another little personal nugget. When I first stepped into leadership, I thought my job was to fix problems, like identify the issues, improve processes, gap analysis, and gap mitigation, hold these high standards, all those things. But one day, someone very close to me pulled me aside and said, "Dana, you hold us accountable, and we respect that, but we don't always know if you see us." Now, wait a minute. I swear I just shared a story about this. I did. About a different team. And so this, which occurred a little later in my career, it hit me hard. I knew better, but I was so focused on performance in this new opportunity that I had landed that I forgot the people producing the performance. So I started doing something simple. Every week I wrote a note. I sent one message or told one person specifically how they made an impact. Not just repeating what I had done earlier in my career, but taking it a step further. It changed them, but more so, it changed me. The gratitude softened my edges without weakening my, as I've said before, high and unattainable standards. It grounded my leadership and it made me wiser, calmer, and way more intentional. That's the power of gratitude in action. So, how do we put gratitude into action today? Number one, make it specific. Not, "You're great," but instead say, "You handled that situation well, with patience and professionalism, and it really made a difference." Specific gratitude builds confidence. Number two, make it consistent. Gratitude once is nice. Gratitude regularly is culture. And number three, make it visible. Tell them, but write it, message it, say it in a meeting in front of others. Gratitude multiplies when other people witness it. And make it intentional. Schedule it, set a reminder, build it into your natural leadership rhythm. Make it a habit. Great leaders don't wait for gratitude. They create gratitude. So who needs your gratitude today? Not in theory, in real life. Like, who supported you? Who encouraged you? Who did something that maybe you overlooked? Write their name down. And before the day ends, here's your action. Express that gratitude. It could be a message, a note, a call, a face-to-face expression of appreciation. But make it intentional, specific, and meaningful. Gratitude doesn't make you soft. It makes you strong. It increases influence and builds trust. It invites collaboration and it deepens connection. People follow leaders. Make them feel seen. And gratitude is how you help people feel seen. Thank you for joining today's episode of 1 Minute Wins with Dr. Dana Martin. If you want to continue building your leadership journey, visit dmilm.com or pick up my book, 1 Minute Wins, Take Control of Your Growth Journey 1 Minute at a Time on Amazon. And always remember, be the example.